All right, what's going on, everybody? Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome to the pre stream for Ask the King episode 42. That's right, we have done over the years that I have been doing this feedback series where I answer your questions. We've done 42 episodes, and it's pretty crazy when you think about that, right? So we got a lot to talk about today on Ask the King in particular. In fact, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh my God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got about 30 questions I'll be answering on today's show. Holy moly, right? That's a ton. But, fair enough, because I have not done an Ask the King in 2 months. The last Ask the King that I did was back on February 6th. Today is, April 17th? So, fair enough that we have that many questions and that many valid questions being asked this month. Well deserved. And I just want to let everyone know I am going to try to consistently be doing this from now on, even though, keep in mind, there is an impending move coming up, which we're about to talk about on the pre-stream. Big news, huge news coming up. But I will do my best to consistently have, Ask the King come out once a month. Especially with all the new stuff coming up, I'm sure people will have tons of questions. And again, I remind you, how do you submit your questions? Very simple. Post them up on my website, thekingofhate.com. You can post them up on Twitter and Facebook the day of, which many people did today. So thank you if you did. I think we got over 100 questions posted up between Twitter and Facebook today. And I love doing this show because it's such a fun thing to have interaction with you guys, to directly answer your questions, to let you have a little bit more insight into my life. So, all right, so let's talk turkey as the stream builds up, as it is undoubtedly doing right now. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, which I get the feeling a lot of people will be watching this on YouTube, because I've got huge news for everyone. Incredibly huge news. This is basically the official announcement. But, we have now officially come to terms on the purchase of a home near Seattle, Washington, which means that there is an impending closure coming, and I will be moving to the Seattle, Washington area within the next couple of months. And I know that's a huge shock to a lot of you to hear that. Like, wow, really already? That's a fast transition? Yeah, it happened that fast. And I'd rather have it happen that fast because let's face it, right now, we're in a drought. We're in a gaming drought. There's not a lot going on. This is the time for me to be dealing with this stuff, especially with a lot of downtime that's going to be coming up in the next several months. I'd much rather move out and make a major move to a new home during, say, the months of June, July, etc., and have those be my transitional months than have it hold off, and the next thing you know, here we are. It's the hardcore gaming season. There's a ton of games coming out at the end of the year, and me trying to coordinate it then probably wouldn't work out too well. Okay? So the bottom line is, yes, I have come to terms with the sellers on it was home number 4. If you watched the Seattle trip vlogs that we did and the house hunting that we did, it is house number 4, which we have come to terms and made an offer on that was accepted. So now the stage that I'm at is this. I'm trying to schedule an inspection. In fact, if you can believe it, this is literally what's happened the past couple days. I literally wait to stream and wait a little bit longer, hoping that if I get anything important coming, a call or something, that it'll come and I can take care of it. Nope, the call came as soon as I started streaming. I kid you not. I just turned on this stream for Ask the King, and I got a phone call back from an inspector who is available and wants to do the inspection on this home. So I have to schedule that for the next couple days. Once the inspection's done, then if they find anything, it's up to the current owners of the home to fix these things within a 30-day window of time. In addition to that, the mortgage paperwork will start to be drawn up. At one point, it's going to be completed. The escrow company has already contacted me. If you don't know what escrow is, it's basically the taxes and any kind of insurance that need to be paid on this home on a monthly basis are going to be included in my mortgage payment, not paid separately by me. And they hold this money in what's called an escrow account all year until it's time for that money to be paid. So they already contacted me for some personal info, and the balls are rolling and everything is moving. So you might be saying to yourself, all right, so this is great news, but what does this mean for the next couple of months of content? What does this mean? How is this going to affect things? So I've been thinking in my head and looking at the schedule, and here's how it's going to affect it, because I know a lot of people are this is going to be the hot question. How are things going to change? When's Phil moving? Basically, the closing process, we scheduled it out to take place over the next month. And ideally, we'd like to close by, say, May 22nd, I think, is the day that we set in stone as the final day to close. Which means on May 22nd, I will sign some documents and officially I will own a home near Seattle, Washington. Notice I keep saying near Seattle because I don't want to tell you guys exactly where it is, obviously. Once I own that home, it will now be time for me to plan my move. Because there is no way whatsoever that within 30 days of now, I will be able to that quickly effectively plan a move across the country. It's just not going to happen. There's too much logistically. There's too much to think about. It's too much in a short period of time to plan out. And so what I'm going to do is take this next month to gradually start looking into things. What moving companies? What are the options for that kind of stuff? Maybe I'll start to pack up my models and stuff one by one, a couple a day, until finally that stuff starts to accumulate and makes it easier to move, etc., etc. And then come May, then is when I will seriously, contact these businesses, contact the internet companies out there, and say, listen, I'm going to move in around this date. I need the internet working by then. I need a moving company to move my stuff on that date. And plan all that stuff out. So we're talking about basically a 2-month process over which there's going to be a planning phase, a closing phase, and then an actual moving phase. So if all things go well, if all things considered go according to my plans, okay, I will be moving sometime in June, probably the middle of June. And ideally, I would like to schedule it around E3 week. Unfortunately, it may end up being E3 week. And if it does end up being E3 week, what that means is that I'll be behind on all the E3 news. And once I finally get set up and everything's working, then maybe I can do my very first batch of content from the new place will be me and my reactions to everything that happened to E3. Which could be neat, right? So we'll see. This is just me completely talking out of my ass because I have no clue how things are really going to work. If anything will change. It is what it is. I can't right now. It's very hard to see the future and see a full plan of how this is going to work, simply because you don't know how it's going to work. What if they find things that need to be fixed in the inspection? What if something happens? Here's the other thing: the second half of May into the first week of June, there's a ton of new content. A ton of new games, including, Watch Dogs, which everyone's been waiting for 100 years. I know there's a Mario Kart 8. And I believe there's 1 or 2 other big releases during that time frame that I cannot, I can't miss those. I mean, yes, this is a big move. This is a life-changing event for me, but I also can't miss out on big releases that are my livelihood. You know what I mean? Right now we're in a drought. That's the time when I'm going to get a big boost of attention, and that's the time that I really will need to be working. So I need to work around that stuff. And that's where it's going to be really tricky, working in this important life stuff around my work and gaming schedule so that you guys still get the entertaining content and, I still get the views that are going to pay for this move. So there you go. That's the big news for today. I talked about it on Twitter a little bit last night because I couldn't fall asleep. I'm going to be honest with everyone. Yeah, it really is on my mind. There is a worry involved in this move. Primarily, number one, because, I am moving across the country to an area that I've only been to once before, and I really enjoyed it, but it's a huge life-changing move. Number two, I'm moving in with my girlfriend for the first time, which is going to be a different experience. Number three, financially. And I've said this before, I'll say it again, I'm one of the realest people on the internet. When I tell you guys about my life and I tell you about stuff that's going on, I talk about it honestly. And I'm going to be honest with everyone. I am not rich. The exaggerated, ridiculous stuff that I hear people saying about the kind of money that I make has been grossly exaggerated. I can't tell you what I make, but I can tell you there's no way that I make as much money as a lot of people seem to assume I do. And it's going to be very tight for a while. Because keep in mind, once I move to Washington, now I still have this condo in Connecticut that I paid way too much money for back in 2009. Chances are, if I try to sell it, I'm probably not going to make a lot of money, and I probably might not even make enough to pay off my mortgage, which is a huge concern. Imagine if I can't make as much selling this place as I still owe to the bank. Now I got to pay thousands of dollars out of my pocket to pay off the mortgage just to get rid of it. If I don't, let's say I choose not to sell it right away, now I'm literally pissing away, I'd say probably $1,500 or more a month on a condo I'm not using, and I can't rent out because I'm not in Connecticut. So there's big financial concerns that are kind of lingering, in the back of my head. Okay? And, it's going to keep me up at night. I'm going to be nervous, These are natural reactions to a life-changing decision and a life-changing move like this. Now, ultimately, I think the move is going to be an incredibly positive thing for my good, my health, my sanity, my livelihood. Yeah, I think it's going to positively affect my business. And in fact, today on Ask the King, we got some really good questions from viewers and fans who are like, gee, how will it affect the business? Did you think about this or that? So I'm not going to go into too much detail here on the pre-stream about that because we're going to address it in the show, okay? But this move is going to be a huge thing that's going to help the business in the long term. In the short term, you'll see changes. I don't know if you'll see improvements, but in the short term, you're definitely going to see some changes. And then long term, you're going to see I'm going to be able to do new series that I've been waiting to do for ages. I'm going to be able to hopefully upgrade my equipment, get a better capture setup, get a better streaming setup, be able to do better things than I've been doing up to now. Because let's face it, a year ago when I adopted direct capture, it was an overnight thing. It was a rushed thing. And my condo is an effing mess right now. It looks horrible. And definitely there's things I could do to do this better, but I just can't do them here. You know what I mean? I really do think that it's going to benefit me, business-wise in the long run doing this move as well. But financially, things are going to be tight. I fully know this. I fully expect this. I'm going to have to be cutting corners for a while in order to be able to make ends meet until I at least sell this condo in Connecticut. And so I tweeted about this a little bit last night. And I do want to say thank you to any of you who did see the tweets, because I was, in the middle of the night, couldn't fall asleep, concerned about it. You guys are very supportive of this. And a lot of you understand, when you get a certain point in your life that you need to make these kind of changes for the better. And a lot of you have, I guess a lot of people that I know have moved already, and they know how stressful it is, and they know about these financial woes. And I got a ton of support via comments, via posts in the Ask the King thread, via Twitter. And I want to say thank you very much to everyone who was very supportive. But I guess I'll publicly talk about it now. And then obviously a lot of people will watch this video on YouTube. But the bottom line is this. If ever I needed your guys' help and your support, it's now. Because right now, I'm in the middle of April. We're more than halfway into the month. The first half of the month, I had almost no content whatsoever because I was out in Seattle house hunting. I've come back and I've continued on with these downtime series, and they're not catching on, which I kind of expected. Did I think that if I did, The Wolf Among Us Episode 3 and Killer Instincts Full Gore a week later than release, that they would be as popular than if I did them the week of release? No, of course not. People who were dying to see these already went somewhere else and saw them. Did I think that the conclusion of Resident Evil 4, which took 2 weeks to come out, was going to be any kind of attention grabber? Probably not. Final Fantasy X is pretty much the same as it was before I went on vacation. So, I can't really say much about that, but that's just another downtime thing. And yeah, it's a major concern for me that now I've pretty much got a month where I'm almost 3/4 into the month and I've got almost nothing going on YouTube. Again, that's my income. That's my business. That's my job. And I've really put out the least amount of content and the least viewed content that I've done in years this month. And it was necessary. Don't get me wrong. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you do support me, if you do enjoy my content, if you want to see me to continue to be able to do this kind of stuff, not that I have to move to Seattle and because things are falling through, I have to get a 9-to-5 job and that's the end of, regular streaming and regular uploading and stuff. I need your help. And by no means am I saying, oh, by the way, send me money, because I love it when people do that. No. What I'm saying is, this would be the time that if you're not enjoying the content I'm putting out, it's downtime series, it's filler, it's stuff that I'm not interested in. I'll wait till Phil plays a new game at the end of the month. If you still like my stuff, I think there's plenty of other stuff that I've done over the years that you probably have not checked out. And a lot of people have actually contacted me and said, well, we want to watch your older content, but we're not even clear on what helps you and what doesn't, okay? Well, the bottom line is I'm grateful for if you watch anything that I do. However, if you want to know in particular what I do and don't make money on, I don't make money on anything that you don't see an ad on. So let me put it this way. My old original YouTube channel, Darkside Phil, that is now an archive channel since 2010. No, I don't make anything on any of those videos. I never did. That was my origins, my roots. That's what got me started to be able to do what I do. Anything on the old vlogs channel, the King of Hate HD? No, I no longer get anything on any of that. That channel was closed down after basically through fraudulent means. Something happened. I don't know what it was because it wasn't me, and YouTube assumed that I was abusing their system and kicked me out of their partner program, which I think was ridiculous, but whatever. It is what it is. I don't make money on DSP Street Fighter. That channel's been defunct for over a year now, and that was not my choice. That was Machinima's choice. Machinima, with all the renegotiations, and stuff that they did at the end of 2012, unfortunately, we're not able to support that channel anymore. And so I had to move all my fighting game content from DSP Street Fighter back over to a main channel, so it's all on DSP Gaming right now. Okay? And of course, you've got the Final Fantasy channel. That is so defunct. I haven't used that in how long? You know what I mean? Yeah. So, if you want to know what you could watch that helps me, it's very simple. Anything on DSP Gaming. Keep in mind, DSP Gaming has existed since April of 2010. So you've got a good, 4 years of content that you can watch that I, benefit from. Anything that I've posted on the King of Hate vlogs, my current vlogging channel, which is, again, a year and a half's worth of content that started in December of 2012. Yeah, December of 2012, I started that channel. For Twitch, watching Twitch streams, obviously, and having, ad block disabled, and I run a commercial break. I'll be honest, I really don't focus too much on ads anymore on Twitch, because the bottom line is so many people use ad block, and, despite the fact that people ask that you don't, they still do. The ads on Twitch don't really do much anymore. I mean, there's days where I have, over 1,000 people all day, 8 hours a day of streaming, and it tells me I made $12. So, if anything, if you support me and you want to, okay, I can't watch a lot of videos, but I do want to help Phil, but he doesn't accept donations, you can become a paid subscriber on Twitch TV. So if you're watching right now on Twitch, there's a button either to the bottom left or right-hand corner of the stream that you're watching. If you're watching it on the website, if you're watching this on my website, thekingofhate.com, there's a subscribe button. I believe it's to the upper right-hand of the stream. And that is, $5 a month. I get a cut of that. A lot of people, oh, Phil gets all of that. Nope. I get a cut of that. But you get stuff for it. You get exclusive chat emotes. You get stream chat that does not get censored when we go into subscriber-only mode if, the chat gets unruly. You also get priority access into giveaways, which I've been trying to explain to everyone. Monday is it. Monday is the PlayStation 4 giveaway. This is your very last chance to enter that giveaway. And, if you become a paid subscriber, you will have an incredibly increased chance of winning that giveaway, okay? So these are the methods by which you can help me. Whether watch content on DSP Gaming, watch content on the King of Hate vlogs, spread the word about that content, and ignore all the bullshit negativity out there about me, and just understand that it's about enjoying entertaining content. It's not about, it's so ridiculous, the personal character of Phil and all. Who cares? I thought that the reason that I'm making videos is to entertain you, right? That's the whole point. You don't need to know every little piece of info. Oh my God, on a bad day, Phil insulted a fan on Twitter who had insulted him first. What a horrible person Phil is. That's the kind of shit, the white noise that you need to block out and say, I'm here to watch fun content. Oh, look, there it is. So that's how you can support me. Or again, to become a paid subscriber on Twitch. That helps me huge. It does. I've said it in the months of January and February, it was a godsend that so many people became paid subscribers there, because those months were incredibly slow. There were no new releases. The month of March was huge. The month of March was an incredible amount of views. Everything went really well in the month of March because there were so many new games out. And that's the difference. When there's so many new games out, it helps support. When there's just nothing, like this month of April, there's really nothing until the last week. And I was away for 2 weeks. This is where it hurts. So with this impending move, obviously, I want to ask that you guys are patient with me. If I get snippy, call me out on it, but try to be, reasonable. Don't be dicks about it. But let me know if I'm being a jerk or if I seem to be getting too defensive about something. I want you to call me out on my bullshit, because the last thing I want to do is, because I'm stressed out because of the impending move and money and everything, I don't want that to leak into my content. All right? And obviously that's a threat. When you got real life stuff going on behind the scenes, it's always a threat. And I don't want that. I don't want that to permeate my content. I don't want my content to become overly negative because I'm so nervous about shit. All right? But if you do want to help, those are the ways that you can help. And please, again, spread the word. Undoubtedly, people are going to want to watch this video to know that I laid down the information that, yes, I am moving in the next 2 months. Yes, it's going to be incredibly costly. And especially after I move, the bills are going to be incredibly tight for a while. And I'm going to need your help. Now, yes, I am aware there are other ways that people can support. In fact, I know, for a fact, there will be questions in today's episode of Ask the King specifically about that. And we will explore those because, yeah, when you get into a situation like I am now, you have to explore every option. Okay? So we're going to talk about it. In today's episode, incidentally, some other ways that you can maybe help me. We'll see. And I do apologize because I'm kind of talking from the heart right now, and I'm not looking at the stream chat, and people are saying a few new people subscribed. Thank you very much to those that did. I apologize. I wasn't looking at your, the chat to personally thank you guys. And, a lot of people also say this. They say, Phil, other Twitch streamers, they have this alert. When someone subscribes, it makes a noise, and actually it's addicting, and a lot of people start subscribing because they want to be noticed or mentioned on the stream. Why don't you have that? It's very simple. Because my stream is about my content. It's not about all that outside noise. I'm not doing this for the money only. I'm doing it as a hobby because I enjoy it, and, of course, because it's my living as well. It's a dual thing. If I were to have dings and names appearing on the screen or whatever, it would be incredibly distracting. Imagine trying to watch me play a game and ding, new subscriber alert, and here's the guy's name and blah, blah, blah. You'd be so distracted and disassociated from the content, you may even get pissed. And I would, if I was watching a playthrough and that happened, I would be angry. So that's why I don't do it. I don't consider myself someone who's so engrossed in it that, people need to get attention to subscribe, and that's why they subscribe. That's not what it's about. I want you to subscribe because you support me and my content, and you want to see me succeed, and you want to see me continue to put out entertaining content, not because you want to have your name appear on the stream and hear a bell. All right, so I've now talked for about 25 minutes of pre-stream. I think for a minute or two here, I'm going to relax my voice and get ready for Ask the King. It's going to be a huge episode. It's probably going to, honestly, it's probably going to be 2 hours long. It's going to be one of those long episodes. Probably going to be 3 or more parts. And I am not accepting call-ins today. I want to make that clear. Last show I said there would be potential that I would accept them, and then I ended up not doing it. This one I'm just going to lay down the law right away and say, no, I'm not doing call-ins. I don't want people to have the misconception that I'm going to do that, because I've got so many good questions just from the past 2 months saved up. There's no time for them. But it doesn't mean I won't do it in the future. But for now, I like doing Ask the King as a format show where I just read questions. One last thing, too, okay? I actually have the questions on paper for the first time in like a year. I'm not even kidding you. I fixed my printer because I needed to do my taxes. And now, of course, all the stuff going on with my purchase of this new home, that I needed to do that. And so I have all the questions printed out on paper. And I will be reading them from paper for the first time in like a year, which I know is a nice touch. It's different than me leaning over to the laptop every couple minutes to read the next question. All right, so that is it. I'm going to end the pre-stream. Please spread the word about the pre-stream, what I talked about on it, and let everyone know that when it does go up on YouTube, it's going to be a pretty important, pre-stream that everyone checks out. I do need your help. So do whatever you can, please, if you support me, to help out. I would very much appreciate that. And that's about it. Let's end the pre-stream. Give me about a couple minutes, 2-3 minutes, and then we'll get started at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 3 minutes from now, with Ask the King, episode 42. Very good.